What's happening, my peoples? I miss you guys. If you were here last week, you know that I had a little issue with technology with Vinny Appice. So Vinny's going to be back the first week of December. I've got so many cool guests. I got Steve Brown from Tesla coming in. And today's guest is going to be in fantastic form. Heather Thomas from The Fall Guy, the sexy vixen from the 80s. Almost as sexy as my guest today. But before I get started with that guest, let me tell you guys, I'm really excited to announce a new partnership that I have with the incredible drum shop here in Portland, Oregon. Rhythm Traders has been around for 30 years. If you see that link below, rhythmtraders.com, they have everything at 40% off right now. And if you go to Rhythm Traders in Portland and you let them know that Kevin Rankin and All Access Live with Kevin Rankin sent you, they're going to give you another 10%. So you can't beat it. Again, they've been around for over 30 years. They're a locally owned, full line drum shop with the most extensive selection of drum sets, cymbals, marching, and symphonic percussion, tons of equipment, and they do lessons, they do repairs. Probably the best selection of any drum gear that you're going to find in Oregon for sure. And so Rhythm Traders, thank you guys so much. I'm really grateful for the partnership. Over time, we're going to have some gift certificate giveaways and some other swag stuff. So if you're interested in anything drum related, go to rhythmtraders.com and let them know I sent you. I also want to thank my buddies at 5 Star Guitars. 5 Stars based in Beaverton, Oregon means there's no sales tax. So you can go into 5starguitars.com/allaccesslive on that link below. There's no sales tax if you order out of state. And if you use the promo code of AllAccess15, you get another 15% off. So I'm saving you money everywhere you go. I'm giving you free entertainment with some of the best people on the planet. And so I need to tell you about this guy because he truly is one of the coolest people I've met. We just wrapped up a 9-week leg of the tour with the Flock of Seagulls in Palm Springs, California at the Pride Festival. They said that there were 200,000 people that came in from all over the world for Pride. And the energy was amazing. The production was amazing. Sound was killer. The band that was opening up for us was so badass. And I had heard from our driver that the drummer from this band was somebody he shared a flight with. And he said, if you get any time at all, man, you got to go check this guy out. Not only is a wicked drummer, but he's a really, really cool cat. So I am going to bring him on. But before, I just want to give you a 30-second clip of this is what this guy does when you see him play live. Check this out. Yeah, I could actually probably do that for about an hour, but I don't want to have any more time lost because this cat has stories to tell. So with no further ado, let me introduce you to my newest friend, Stacey Lamont Sydnor. What's happening, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
He is. Yeah, I love that. Didn't you just move back to Nashville? Aren't you in Nashville right now?
Yeah, I just moved to Nashville a couple years, about almost 2 years now.
So is there a requirement then to wear a cowboy hat when you come on my show?
Well, I always wear. That's my look, bro.
I haven't seen that. Everything I keep seeing. Oh, country drummer. There you go, man. Okay, I didn't even give you a full introduction, man, because I believe that. Hold on, I'm trying to get rid of this silly Restream logo here. That's goofy. When I first met you, Mike Loopy, our driver, was talking about this drummer who played with, he said, the Jackson 5. He played with the Jacksons. Dude, you've been with the Jacksons for a long time. You play with Diddy since 2007, right?
Yep.
And I mean, you've got a pedigree that's incredibly long. So without going into, too much heckle, let me just ask you first. Tell me about the Marine Corps drumline. You played in the Marine Corps brass band, right?
The Marine Corps band.
Okay, and the Marine Corps band it's a huge deal. And I know, like, for people that don't know, to get in the Marine Corps band and to do a lot of their performances, I've seen their presentation, and visual stuff is as important. Oh, he's gone. I scared him away. We start talking Marines and he runs.
No, we talking about Marines. That makes me excited. We just had a birthday.
Oh, yes, you did. Congratulations, man. And thank you for your service, brother. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right. So Marine Corps band, dude, I've seen some of the presentations that they've done, so much involved in meticulous presentation, like, the orchestration, the choreography, right? So
Correct.
So much discipline. That's kind of what I was getting to, man. I mean, and if there is one thing that I noticed about your playing, looking at the amount of people that you've played with, dude, you've got like an incredible amount of discipline. So tell me where this came from, man. Tell me about like what made Stacey Lamont the disciplinarian that you are.
I mean, I grew up listening to, I guess what people these days probably call simple music.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching a TV show called Hee Haw.
Oh. Okay.
He said, oh.
I know. I watched Hee Haw too, man. You have to understand that I live in a suburb of Portland, Oregon. So people think about Portland being real progressive, but where I'm at right now, dude, and I hate to even admit this, dude, there are Confederate flags all over my freaking neighborhood. It disgusts me, right? So there's a little bit of Hee Haw mentality, but Hee Haw was fun spirited. It wasn't like, but anyway, it's redneck is what I'm saying, right? So that's all right, dude. All right, so you watched Hee Haw.
Black neck, man.
Well, that's so. Hey, man, you know what? I'm cool with anybody as long as they're not full of hate, right? I just love to promote positivity, man. That's it.
Yeah, man. Because growing up in Southern Virginia, like I was talking to you at that festival, we didn't get a lot of choice in a lot of music that we heard. It was bluegrass, it was Southern rock, country, and then I grew up in church, and of course we was listening to what they call quartet gospel, which is really very similar to blues and country. Yeah. I mean, it's so simple. I mean, similar.
You're right.
So that's what I
like traditional country.
Traditional country.
Gotcha.
Joe Diffie and your Johnny Cash, your Waylon Jennings, that stuff, man, and Reba, and
that's real country.
But even before Reba, all that stuff, man. It was. Loretta Lynn was one of my mom's favorites.
Oh, really? Right on,
Dolly
man.
Parton, and then because her stuff was the pocket on that Dolly stuff.
Oh, dude. Okay, so let me ask you this, man. Have you met Dolly? Have you played with her?
No.
Okay.
I met her drummer one night though.
I had her sister on, Stella, who is a freaking spot-on double for her. Stella's got 40 albums of her own and has a record label that she's had since she was 17. Blows my mind, the amount of musicality in that family. And, I talked about positivity. Dude, she was such a bright light. You should go back and check out that episode. I'll send it to you. She was a beautiful, beautiful human being. So whenever I hear Dolly's name now, I just equate the entire family to being somebody that influenced a lot of people in really beautiful ways. So Dolly, you grew up listening to traditional country. You said simple music, but
traditional gospel. Then my dad was into Bobby Blue Bland and Johnny Taylor and, that stuff. So I got a combination of that. So in all that music, like I said, in terms of the complexity of what you're playing and the way that some of these young guys play, yes, it was really simple. But the feel and what you had to put into it, that what made it groove and what made it special is what I gravitated towards until I met my mentor. His name is Dayne Brown. Okay. He went to the same high school I did, except he was older than me. I was a fan because him and his my mother's best friend, his best friend is Harold Green.
Oh, wow.
I rode the bus with as like 5 and 6 years old.
Really?
He used to tease me. I used to wear Flying V guitar shirts all the time.
Metalhead, yeah, baby.
Because I was into the whole 80s rock band thing.
Yeah.
Anything that was live.
Yeah, right.
I gravitate towards because I didn't like Soul Train because they were miming.
Lip syncing, yeah, man.
Yes.
Right.
So I couldn't. It was like I knew it was fake. It was like I just couldn't watch that. But anything where I knew they was really playing and pushing air, I gravitated towards that. So Damon introduced me to like straight up country, more country, to Allman Brothers, and to the Skinner, the whole Southern rock thing. He got me playing that stuff and all that Waylon Jennings stuff we was playing in a band called Infinity.
All right.
And then he was such a hard ass on me. Oh my God. he was standing over my hi-hat with his bass and just tortured me.
Oh, so that's where the discipline came from, right there,
He
man.
would torture me.
Yeah. How old were you at that point?
I was like 17, man.
Okay.
He would torture me. When I said,
so let me ask you about that. Okay, at that age, right? I mean, we're inclined as young men to push back. We're rebels at 17, right? So
correct.
When somebody, I mean, obviously this guy's in sort of a hero role, or he's a more respected
That's my
role.
hero, bro.
Yeah, so he can slam you all you want, but you are at the point where you're feeling it. You want this thing so bad, and you know that maybe even though he's hard on you, his intent is to make you better, right?
Yes, and we grew up learning respect at home.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
There's someone willing to take you under his wing and take you to his house. My mama, when you come back and he tell me you disrespected, you got to answer me and your daddy when you get home.
Oh, really? Okay, right.
So then you got that dynamic,
right?
But what he was giving me,
you were playing clubs.
We played barn parties, clubs, restaurants,
right? Eagles, Elks clubs, and VFW.
But how we got hooked up was they had, a little theater. I don't know if you're familiar. It's like miniature Broadway.
Okay.
So the drummer, another guy I looked up to who taught me so much and actually gave me my first set of classical mallet bags and sticks. His name is Rembrandts, who also went to the military band.
Okay.
And he couldn't come back to do this performance. So they was like, well, we hear this high school kid can play a little bit. Let's try him out.
Yeah.
So I show up to the first rehearsal and there's like timpani, xylophones, all stuff I know how to play, but I figured it was a section.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that is all for you.
You're on deck for everything, huh?
For everything.
Okay.
And so
you're the pick.
Now he said he saw me look at the gear and then open the book. He saw the look on my face. And at that point, he had made up his mind that he was gonna start taking me to his house and making sure I got through it.
Okay. Right on.
Because I didn't know what a beguine was.
Right. But he knew that you had the potential and the fire. And
correct.
So he was willing to invest in you.
Yes, and he did. Okay. He took me to see. He introduced me to jazz, straight ahead, everything. I mean, music as a worldly thing, okay. I got from him. I had no idea all these other genres even existed.
Yeah, but you know what's cool, man? So you had local heroes. Were you listening to like big bands that maybe you'd seen live and you thought, oh, I like that cat is my favorite? Or was there anybody that inspired you at 17?
Yeah, back then, the drummer for Joe Diffie.
Okay,
I cannot remember his name. He went to University of North Texas.
All right,
and I got to go on stage and hang out with him, and at the county fair is where we got to see live music at.
Yeah.
So and watching him and the drummer for Ricky Skaggs, which was Lonnie London at the time.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
And
he was getting every gig.
Those guys. Then this drummer his name is Dwight. I can't remember his last name, but we called him Bobo in Quartet Gospel World.
Okay.
Watching him, dude get that guy, and then he's got a Donald Adams, another local guy. I only do local cats.
Sure.
So watching these dudes, man, and then my boy D. Washington, the way he played pocket, and we were the same age, but the way he approached the pocket, and I was like, okay, I need that. Yeah. And then I was taking from all these guys until Damon introduced me to Blakey, to Tony Williams, Steve Gadd, Kali Yuta, and then from there I got into Eddie from Van Halen.
Alex Van Halen.
Alex.
Yeah.
I got Alex Van Halen, did Scott Gorman of Black Crowes, and did both drummers from J-Mo and Butch from the Allman Brothers. And
right.
Once from the Artemis Powell from Skinner.
Right.
All that cat. Then it was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Then I heard Dennis Chambers. It changed my life.
Oh yeah, I saw some pictures of you at Dennis. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's my guy, man.
When you first saw him, was it the videos that were running around? He had like those instructional videos.
It was called Serious Moves.
That's it.
And then one was called In the Pocket.
Yeah, the yellow kit, wasn't it? Yellow drum kit. Yeah, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah,
one of them was the blue kit, and one was the yellow kit.
Yeah, he had the high tops on, and dude, that he had those little that little painter's cap.
Yep.
Dude. So okay, for some, not all people that watch the show are drummers, right? So for you guys that you should know, I think you and I might be fairly close in age, man, because when I discovered him, it was around the time that I discovered all these other drummers, and I was a hard rock guy too, man. Alex Van Halen, of course, is one of my favorites, and I was a fan of like big drum kits and everything that was bravado, right? I loved like the show. I grew up in Montana, where everybody was listening to country, and I was a hard rock guy. I was,
Montana.
Yeah, that's a great place to be from.
I was just there recently.
Yeah, well, okay, well, I'll tell you. My dad first took me to see Chick Corea Acoustic Band when I was 17.
Ooh,
and Dave Weckl and Patitucci were on that gig, and I freaked out. I ran backstage, man, and I didn't know better. Well, and this was the acoustic band, not the electric. So but Weckl took me under his wing too, man. He took me back to the hotel, and we talked for a couple of hours. My dad sat at the table next to us, just waiting, and he was laughing because I was a kid in a candy store. This guy had such wisdom. And he was asking me to party, and I thought he was asking me to get high with him. And I said, no, man, I'm not into that stuff at all. And he goes, well, good, because I'm going to tell you, man, if you're really interested in doing this thing for a career, you got to get rid of that stuff. You know, there's no way you can be my age and still pulling that stuff out. And I was so grateful for the wisdom. And he actually wrote me a letter later, helped to transcribe some stuff and talk to me about electronics. But that time was when the Dennis Chambers stuff came out too. And Dennis took the double bass stuff that Cobham had been doing, and he also had the swing, the shuffle groove that Alex Van Halen was really making big. So, like, you know, as far as
then of course the funk stuff from P-Funk,
dude. I mean, and Dennis Chambers was kind of the best combination of funk,
of everything,
like rock and metal stuff. I mean, he could do it all, right? And
he did it all.
And his presence. He'd sit there with that little smirk, dude, and there was nothing tentative about anything he played. He was so confident. And some people might think he was arrogant, but dude, that guy just knew that he was put on this planet to play drums.
To play the drums.
He was going to speak it. Like, that's his language, man. So if you're not a drummer out there, go out and search, go YouTube, hit Dennis Chambers, and you're going to pretty much throw up. It's amazing. He's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, I interrupted your story, but I love the fact that you caught up with him at certain places, because you have a lot of his playing in you. You know, I
get, a lot of people say that.
Do they? Yeah, man.
I get that. Ricky Lawson, Ndugu, and Blakey for straight ahead stuff.
You got a little Jonathan Moffat in you too, man. I've seen some of the Sugarfoot.
Okay. I never heard that one.
You never have? Okay. Well, because he's been more active right now. I'm making videos, right? He's been going on doing a lot of the play along stuff to Michael, you know, and
very good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine.
Oh, Jonathan is.
Oh, yes.
Oh, right on. Well,
we just did a session together recently, about 2 months ago.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, you can tell him. I said he stole all his stuff from you. So
I can't. Jonathan.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. I
can't get all that.
Yeah.
I be able to cut my wrist off.
God, man. He it's crazy to me because it looks to me like he's setting all that stuff up at his like home studio, and he's got so much gear. Dude, I don't know about you.
All of his kits are huge. Nothing small.
Yeah, man. I you know, after I realized that I was going to be setting up my own gear for a long time, my kits went from double bass and like 8 racks. I went down to a 4-piece, man.
I went down to a 4-piece.
Yeah. I just like keeping high and tight, man. Just right here, just a couple cymbals. But anyway, so as you came through this phase, then where you discovered all these drummers and the variety, right? You had this diversity of so many different styles. You knew at that point, this is it. This is what you want to be doing for a living.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Not a doubt. I knew that when I was 6 years old. I told my mom I was going to be the drummer for Hee Haw.
Oh, for Hee Haw! I love it. Oh, who was that was playing drums? Who was it? Was on the show?
Larry London.
That was Larry London, right? Okay, that's right. Right. Okay. So, did mom laugh at you and say, "Okay, honey, yeah,
right? That's so nice."
Yeah. Did she call you Lamont?
No, I ain't gonna tell you what my mama called.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, do you have a big family?
I was for the most part.
Yeah, like enough like siblings.
The way we grew up, like my first cousins and we all, my mom's raised a few of my first cousins, so we all grew up as brothers and sisters.
Sure.
And it was 6 of us, and we were simple, just when I say tight, and then being in the South, you kind of all your cousins, your uncles, aunties, we all spent a lot of time together, with each other. So it's always definitely a big family, just not an immediate big family, like not like a lot of brothers and sisters and all that, but as a whole, it's a big family, and we spend a lot of time together growing up.
Isn't that, I mean, don't you think that's even more important? You think it doesn't matter if you're blood relative, man. If you're close that way, if you got cousins or friends that are so close that they feel like, that to me is family, right? So, because like right now, dude, people have been going crazy the last couple of years with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and you see families splitting apart. And it's so sad that if they had that foundation like you're talking about, where you kind of grew up all together, mom and dad helped, they brought in the neighbor kids or the cousins, and everybody was just spending all that time together. Those are lifelong bonds.
We farmed, man. Been on the farm. Everybody had to pitch in.
Oh yeah, that's hard work, man. So there's a discipline for sure, man. You're having to out there and buck hay and
pulling tobacco, man. That was still the hardest job I've done in my life, is pulling tobacco.
I'll bet, man. And you knew this is not what I want to be doing for a living.
I'm not going to be doing this. So I thought the first day smoking out to the Marines.
Yeah. Oh, so when did you enlist?
1993.
Okay.
I graduated high school, and that was it. I'm out. See you.
Yeah, that's it. And you knew the band is where you wanted to go, so you get the benefit of having.
I didn't know. But that happened because of my band director at the time. He was a retired Navy band officer.
Okay.
And my whole thing, I was a big classical music head. So I was going to go to George Mason University on a classical music scholarship playing timpani.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough.
Symphony was where my heart was. I was going to play Tchaikovsky and Granger and all this stuff in some symphony somewhere, down the line. And then once he introduced me, he said, "You can do that, but you can get paid to do it at the same time." I was like, "Really? Please do tell."
Yeah. And the benefits.
And then he set me up for an audition and stuff, and I went to audition, and I was blown away when they started showing me that I was gonna be doing the classical thing. I'll be doing the marching thing. I'll be doing, then I had the show band, jazz band. We did Dixieland. We did everything,
Really?
What the generals wanted.
What was your audition like there?
The audition was pretty intense because they usually don't take high school kids.
Right.
So it's a lot of reading. Okay. You start off reading rudiments.
Okay.
And then you go to scales. And then from there, you do sight reading on snare. Then you go to sight reading on mallets. Okay. Then they move to timpani, other concert percussion stuff, sight reading, and seeing what your technique looks like.
Yeah.
Then you go to drum set, which is the final thing. They want to see if you can do all the classical stuff first.
Right.
And then you go to drum set. But my audition score was really high. They actually called DC immediately after my audition. And I got a call from the bandmaster from DC congratulating me, and he looking forward to me one day being in the president's own band.
Wow.
And which I got invited to audition. You have to be selected to audition even after you in again. Yeah. And I got selected to audition, but I ended up getting out and going on the road with my rock band. We was a jam band, so we a bunch of Marines on the road doing jam band music.
Really? And when you say jam band, like what, like cover songs from like what? Oh, all your stuff.
Oh, original. But
okay,
we was doing Dave before people really knew who Dave was.
Okay,
but we had that whole vibe, that whole East Coast thing. You had Dave Matthews touring. You got who came out of there? Matchbox 20 came out of there. Okay. Edwin McCain.
Hootie was out of there.
Edwin. Hootie.
Hootie.
Yep. Virginia Coalition, Collective Soul, Train.
Oh, Train, yeah.
All of them came out of that whole region of doing the whole East Coast, college circuit, club
right.
circuit.
Oh yeah, Grace Powter now
was part of that.
Okay,
Current Rescue Unit.
Oh yes, man. Oh, what a band! What a band.
That's where I came. Colonel Bruce. That's where I came from.
Okay, so you were doing original stuff like that style of music, playing the same circuits. Money was good on those circuits.
Man, we worked a lot.
Yeah.
So that made the money good.
Sure.
Because we was doing almost 280 to 300 shows a year, bro. We was working almost every day.
Wow. Yeah. No days off. Well, I mean, you know what?
No, we had days, little here and there, but we had so much fun. We had the Econoline van with the trailer, and
that's where we're traveling in right now, dude. We're still doing that right now. Econoline van. I'll be in it tomorrow in Dallas, Texas. So
that's right, rock and roll.
Yep, that is it, man. God, well, what a cool time to be there, though, when all those bands were breaking.
Dude,
because at that point,
John Mayer was on that circuit at the time.
Yeah,
we opened for John.
You know what, man? You know this. Like musicians know this, but like music people, like people that just like listen to the radio and they think of My Body as a Wonderland, John Mayer. That's not who that cat is at all, man. That dude is one of the most underrated guitarists I've ever seen, and he's
Continuum
smart.
Is more what he was. Yeah. When he did the Continuum album, that was more of what he used to do. And then when Steve Jordan came on,
oh yes,
that's when he went back to doing what he, what didn't get him there. He did what he needed to do to get there.
Right.
Then reverted back. So Pink did the same thing.
Yep, that's right, man. Like, it's interesting. You're talking about Pink, man. Mark Schulman's a dear friend of mine, right? And I argue with our singer all the time because our singer is saying there's nothing good. There's no good music out anymore. And
that's not true.
Not at all, man. But but his range is limited a little bit. But I remember him arguing with me. I said, dude, I just was at Pink last night. That girl is the most talented person on stage. She's so gifted. He goes, well, she's like a Cirque du Soleil performer. I said, well, yeah, dude, she does that while she's singing. He goes, yeah, but to tracks. And I go, no, dude, there are no tracks. The only reason they even have a click is for all the visual stuff in the backdrop. All the vocals, even the background vocals, even the strings and everything, all that stuff is live.
Yep, my buddy Troy was playing with her for a while.
Okay, yeah, man. Well, you probably know Nate Morton as well, right? So
yeah,
Nate's a dear friend of mine as well, man. He did that for a little bit, and then Mylius Johnson, right? Mylius was
I don't know Mylius.
Okay, Mylius did that gig for a little while as well, and he was a drummer. He was a Spawn guy, but I'm playing Spawn drums, right? And Pink actually got a Spawn endorsement through him, so they both had Spawn kits up, and she's a great drummer too, dude.
Really? So, I had no idea.
I'm hijacking all your stories. This is horrible. So,
man, hijack, brother. We sharing.
This is what we did. You know what? When we were hanging, people should know this. And hello, Claudia. By the way, my friend Claudia is in Germany right now. It's good to see you.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I added the purple back for her. She she's the most amazing gal, and she does my hair when you come to Europe.
Oh man,
yeah. So that is what's up. So thank you for being here, Claudia.
I miss Germany. Oh my god,
dude. Yeah. Like, how often do you get over to Europe?
Before the pandemic, I was there almost more than I was in the United States.
Really? Okay. With
the Jacksons huge there.
Sure. They're huge everywhere, bro. Like, let's jump into this a little bit. Okay. All right. So yeah, do you find that there are certain places that they just don't do well?
America.
Well,
Americans, man, is our country and people are weird in terms of how they appreciate and not appreciate certain things when it comes to music and musical artists. While we, Europeans keep their stars and legends. Yeah. Americans be like, you too old, y'all should stop.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So like,
it's totally different.
And so the pandemic comes around and the whole world shuts down. So aside from Jackson's, which you've been doing consistently for how long?
Man, I've been doing I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know, man. I
play with a lot of people and do a lot of stuff.
Okay.
In between Jackson's, I've done doing Jonathan Butler. I've done, of course, Diddy.
Yeah.
Taylor Dayne, Denise Williams, Mark McGrath and Sugar Ray, Philip Bailey. I do his solo shows.
Okay, right on.
Then my trio, we tour a lot.
Okay.
And then my backing band, my backing band is called The Unit, and we service backing band for a lot of people.
Okay.
We do a lot of stuff with the house band for a lot of, like, they'll bring in a bunch of celeb artists and then we'll back them all. And we do a lot of that.
Let me ask you that. So with that band, I know quite a few bands that are like that, right? And they'll be an all-star singer, right? So they'll have like 3 or 4 singers from a genre, and you might have, Reba, and they'll have the country side, or you'll have a rock side, and you'll have the singers from whatever, Hart and Pat Benatar and blah blah blah.
Correct.
But you'll be the backing band. How do you get those kind of gigs? Is there an agent that says, "Oh man, I got the perfect band for this artist"?
Sometimes it's a promoter. Promoters trying to save money. Like, look here, we're going to do this. What if we bring you in and you come in and do 3 or 4 of your biggest hits, and we'll have a band, all-star band that can do your music as if your band was there.
Right. Yeah.
So they, that's how they present it. And
instead of bringing 15 people from 3 bands, they bring in your band and then just the singers, and they're good to go.
Correct. Yeah. Less flights, less hotels, less everything,
Yeah. And it's cost me a few gigs here and there for those kind of things, but that's all right. Cause I've actually been the backing guy for some things too. So
right.
The best thing to do, like you, is to be diverse enough to be able to be not
cover
only
everything,
capable to play it, but also be
Damon
out there.
Brown got me like that. And Chad Wright, my drum mentor. Those 2 guys, man, be versatile. Make it authentic to whatever genre you're playing.
Yeah.
And make it feel good.
I mean, that's all that needs to be said right there. Right. I mean, but I've said this on so many shows, and I know you'll agree with me, man. But if you weren't an amazing human being, there's no way that you'd be getting as many calls as you do, because not only are you a great player, but you've got an infectious energy, right? There's a spirit about you. And that's part of the deal, right? Is that you want to be like somebody else you'd want to hang with. So if you're not a good hang, that's
what I tell touring guys who want to tour. You got to be a good hang. Ain't nobody take you on tour.
Yeah. If you're around somebody 24 hours a day and they're a pain in the ass, just get the next guy. And so because you do all this different stuff, you're on tour, you're in the studio, you're just doing like one-offs and that kind of thing. Do you feel like the networking you've done, the reputation, the relationships you developed, do you really feel like that's a big part of what's brought you so many opportunities?
Oh, of course.
The relationship building. Yeah.
Relationship building is huge. I mean, because a lot of stuff you get because someone can't do something.
Yeah.
And they say, yo, call this guy, and call this guy. 2 guys in particular, man. Like I said, Chad Wright, who's literally my Los Angeles drum mentor. Oh my God.
Nice.
He has been one of my best friends in the world. And on top of that, it's just that we're friends. We're boys. Yeah. We're homies. We're brothers. But from the time he met me, I was teaching his stepson, and he didn't know me. His stepson went home and was playing all this. He's like, dude, where are you learning this? And man, he saw the difference in his playing. He said, yeah, you got to come meet my teacher. So when I finally met him, he was like, who are you playing with? I said, that's not, I just got to LA. And I said, well, I'm doing some wedding bands, some corporate stuff.
Yeah.
And some little gigs around town. He's like, you know what? I got you. And then literally 2 weeks later, one Sunday night, I was coming from church. He's like, yo, bro, what's your week like? I'm like, little stuff here and there, but nothing major. Cool. Yeah. I need you to go to New York and do this Keiko Matsui gig.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, huh? Yeah, just come by the house. I got, I don't have any charts, but that's when we had cassettes. I got some CDs. I got CDs. I got some CDs for you.
Okay. Yeah.
This was 97, 96,
right.
96.
Yeah.
And no, I'm sorry, 2006.
Okay.
So I go by the house at 11 o'clock at night, pick up these, 3 CDs where he track 2 and 3 from this one, 4, 5. You know how we used to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we had the Walkmans. And so then he was like, I don't have any charts. I apologize in his last minute, but can you please go, fly to New York? So when I'm leaving, in the morning at 6.
Oh, yes, man. Yes.
I'm like, when's the first show? After you land in New York.
No kidding. You land and you're on stage. Look at that, man.
Literally, I'm up all night charting out all this crazy stuff at 9 and 13. And it's all these stupid time signatures. So on the flight, I'm still charting stuff. So the first show, man, it was nuts, man. And it made me think wow, this is Los Angeles. And then he does it again for Gladys Knight.
Oh, wow. And completely different stylistically, but man, you got to be on your game there too, because
But Chad was my guy, man, and I became his sub. Period.
That's great.
And then another guy, just similar to that, is my boy LJ, somebody from North Carolina. That we had a lot of mutual friends. Then we actually met when we got to LA, and we just became, between us 3, we give each other all of each other's work.
Yeah. Because that they're reliable, right? The last thing you want to do is refer somebody and then have them choke. And then that makes you look bad, right?
It does.
Man, this is really cool. For some reason, I wasn't getting all the chat thread here from all the places we're networking right now. And So I looked over at Facebook, and there, of course, there's Jennifer Batten saying Ricky Lawson,
what?
the bomb. Yeah. So
Jennifer.
So hey, Jennifer, it's good to see you here, hon. And Rob McLean, man, a wicked bass player friend of mine, is in Minneapolis right now. He said, I love this dude. So,
well, thank you.
I mean I've certainly been in that role here in Portland. When I moved here, I got to know everybody. I wanted to be out playing as much music as I could and getting to know everybody, right? And getting to know people and maybe, being reliable certainly got me a bunch of gigs. But then I developed a database back there in the 90s. Yeah, you're good. I'll tell you. Tell you when you got to go. Right?
What? Okay.
But I started like referring all these people. I had this database of drummers, right? And then a couple of guys were like no shows for studio sessions, and people would call me back and go, "Hey man, this guy that you gave me a number for never showed. No call, no show." And not only would they be gone from the database, but I realized, man, that really reflects on me, It
does.
And so not only do you, Stacey, have to be a wicked drummer, a great hang, a great attitude, but if you're making a recommendation, you got to be pretty confident that the dude that you're referring out there is somebody that's going to show up and
show up
as good as you. Right. Yeah, man. Tell me about a gig maybe that you got recommended for, or you showed up, and even if you did your homework, the gig just didn't work out, man. A last minute. So yeah, one of those pucker moments, right, where you're like, oh shoot.
Oh man, well, and it's hard to talk about those gigs, without alienating people.
Okay, well, we can go to the other route.
Use no names or whatever. Yeah, I've definitely shown up on a gig, and I get there, and I'm not the music director. I'm just a drummer. So I show up. I'm prepared. I know everything.
Yeah.
Then you get there, nobody else knows that.
Oh no!
And then the artist is weird, and it just causes a weird, situation, and you're trying to vibe with some guys that you've been hired to play with, but then you kind of got to step in, and you're not trying to step on nobody's toes. Try to fix this, situation.
Yeah.
But that happens a lot. Not a lot, but like I was talking about Nate Morton earlier, the band from The Voice, like all those guys. Paul Merkovich.
Oh, Merkovich is the king, man, dude. He's the music director beyond all, right? And like that whole band of guys, right? Everybody's in that.
That's who hired me for Hillary Duff was Paul Merkovich.
Really? Okay, yeah, man. So like, I forgot Hillary is also in your pedigree. I mean, Paul is somebody I want to get on the show because that guy has had to do more babysitting than anybody I know, right?
MDing is more babysitting than music. I tell everybody all the time. It's all about the other stuff.
Right. Yeah, but it's amazing to me, man. That band right now, the Voice band. I just saw that they're doing the new Taylor Swift record, and they were posting stuff in the studio, and
they're doing the record.
Yep. Yeah. So they were just like they were all charting out stuff together. They were showing pictures in the studio, and it wasn't a Voice thing; it was a Taylor thing. Yeah, it's great, man. And she, dude, I mean, I don't know. I'm a huge fan because I know from what I've heard, she's writing all of her own stuff. She's a talented girl and a bright woman who's she's not painted into that corner of being, just another pretty face. And so
man.
I love that.
Paul gave me one of the best compliments ever.
Which one?
He said, I would never get this quote. He was like, you know why I hired you? I was like, why is that? Not only do you have great energy, but the relationship between your hi-hat, snare, and kick is perfect placement.
Yeah.
I said,
that's all you need. That's all you need. That that says a lot because the dude's played with a lot of people.
He's played with a lot of people.
Yeah. And who's somebody, we could go through the whole list of people that you play with. Who's somebody that's on your bucket list that you've not yet gotten a gig with that you're hoping that it shows up?
Whoo.
I lost your audio for just a sec. I think you're back.
I lost you. Hello.
Yeah. Can you see me? I got you.
Hello.
I'm here. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. I'm here.
That was my 10-minute warning.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay. Who haven't played with? Yes.
Who is the bucket list, man? If there's somebody at the top, right? Like, so Stevie Wonder, says, hey man, I'm looking for a drummer.
At the top of my list?
Yeah.
Everybody would think that. Top of my list is Dave Matthews.
Oh yeah. So Carter's like, hey, okay, Carter Beaufort says, yeah, my wrist is hurting. I need one guy. I need Stacey Lamont
Sydnor. My goodness. I know all the records.
Yeah.
I know all the records.
Yeah. You just show up, ants marching is like you just start playing. But yeah.
I know all the records. Pick one. I got
it. I mean, honestly, dude,
I prepared myself for that call.
All right. So Dave, if you're listening, right? Dave
Matthews. Paramore.
Okay.
He said, okay.
Well, no, I get it though, because that's a super pro gig.
That's a drummer's gig right there, brother.
Yep.
Okay, Paramore. Let me see. Luke Combs.
Okay.
Reba McEntire. Dolly Parton, of course.
Yeah.
Blake Shelton. Mickey Guyton. Who else? Kenny Garrett for the jazz side.
This is nice, man, because your list is long enough that you're going to be playing with a bunch of these cats before you go. So.
Well, because it crosses genres.
Sure, yeah, no, man, and you're like throwing darts at a dartboard. You're going to hit some of these targets, man. This is good.
Yeah, I have a legitimate top 10.
Yeah, I like that.
Sting.
Oh yeah,
Sting is on there.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least, the Black Crowes.
Oh, wow, man, look at you. Well, you mentioned Gorman's
a buddy
of yours,
right? List gigs, right? These are the ones right here. I have made it.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, there are a few that are probably pretty accessible to you right now, right? And I'm surprised that you haven't had Reba.
I just got here, so, I'm still learning the lay of the land. I'm the new guy.
Nashville's a tricky town, right? I mean, I've heard that so much.
Nashville is tricky.
Yeah, unless you've got a ton of contacts already there. You just don't show up and go down to the Bluebird Cafe and say, "Hey, I'm new in town. Give me a gig." Right? That doesn't happen.
Well, I just showed up.
Yeah.
I ain't really know nobody. I'm moving to Nashville. We moved to Nashville. Basically, what happened, and I showed up because I knew because of my. I still had plenty of work.
Yeah,
work I don't have to worry about. I get work, plenty,
but not in Nashville as much.
But I wanted the challenge of I want to do the country thing. I want to do more country and rock. Period. Yeah. That's all I want to play right now. And so in order to do it, someone told me years ago, you got to position yourself in order to get the blessing that you want. So I positioned myself to be in this place where I know where it can happen more so than in LA on that side.
That's so good, man. Completely different environment. So when you came from LA where you knew everybody, right? You show up in Nashville and maybe don't know that many people. What's the first step? What do you do, man? What do you do?
5 people.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I just find out what the jam sessions. First thing I do is find out what the jam sessions are, and once I find out what the jam sessions are, and then somehow I always meet key people. It's all about meeting that one key person who can plug you with other people. I met this bassist named Jonathan Nixon through a guy I call my nephew. His name is Ricky. We call him Tank. Great drummer, phenomenal. I love that boy. And he introduced me to Jonathan. Jonathan would do that. Call me at randomly. Yo. Be here at 7:30. Cool. I'm there at 7:30.
Yeah. Okay. Were you there at 7:30 or were you there at 7:15?
No. I'm there at 7:10.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
I want to see what it looks like.
Right.
Look around.
Yeah. Right. You check the lay of the land, but as you know, man, you show up on time. It's late in the music business, and I'm unfortunately
it's like the military.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're not bouncing quarters off the bed, but yeah, you just it shows preparation. Again, discipline. If my bandmates are listening, man, don't fault me for being late. It's I know our Loopy, our driver right now, is on the way to Texas for our show. We got to be there tomorrow. And yeah, I'm sure he's like, oh, dude, how many times have you shown up right at the time at the lobby call? Yeah, it's horrible, but it's hard to get up in the morning, so. But so you get there, you do the jam sessions, you get did you run into go down and say, hey, Rich Redmond, help me get a gig, right? So you probably know Rich, I'll bet.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
Well, not help me get a gig, but I mean the dude works a lot.
I mean, like me and Rich, speaking of Rich, we've been DMing.
Okay.
He has somehow found one of my posts and was like, "Whoa, you sound great!" Then from that led to a conversation. Okay. And we've been planning on getting up as soon as they finish up this leg of this Jason Aldean tour. We're supposed to go to lunch soon. Okay. Me and Rich, and then me and come on, Brain, from Rascal Flatts.
Oh yeah, Jim Riley. Yeah. Jim's another friend. He's been on my show too, man. Both of those cats. So you have to
shut up.
Yeah, no, man, absolutely. Both incredible dudes. I mean, Jim really just. It's interesting because he talks a lot about classical percussion and doing that kind of thing from the academic world, and that brought him into where he's at. But both of those dudes can pretty much pull off any gig there, and they've got great networking skills. Yeah, man. I mean,
Shannon Ford,
someone just, but a lot of cats can put their faces on.
Yes, but it's more than that. It's more than just playing your face off. It's a lot more. But Shannon Ford, I just got introduced to Shannon.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to linking up with him because his studio setup, dude, and the sound together in the studio is beyond incredible. And then he plays he's just phenomenal, man. The stuff he does with Toto, he's like Jeff Carver reincarnated to me. Man. He's the closest thing I've seen.
Really? Yeah. Well, having that Purdy shuffle, man, that's what it takes, right? So you I love my shuffles. Yeah, I got it because I know that
we were just shuffling all weekend with Tito Jackson, man, for his blues album.
Tito, he's got a blues record. Okay, all right.
Oh my God, it's phenomenal, bro. We just did this blues festival, man, this past weekend. Man, shuffles were deep.
Yeah. Well, I told you I was going to ask you about Tito, man. So because we didn't even talk Jackson.
You did.
Yeah, I did, man. So all right. So all right.
Papa T
of the four, right? Like, who is just the craziest dude of that gang?
Marlon.
Oh yeah. Is he just full of antics, or is he just absolutely off his rocker?
He like a big kid, man. You be eating, you in catering, you eating dinner, man. All of a sudden, a grape will hit you in the face.
He starts a food fight with you. I like that. Right on.
He be like, you be on stage, you playing, you in the middle of your solo, and then somebody walking behind you, smack you in the back of the head
while you're playing. Oh
no! But that's Marlon.
Yeah. How long you been doing that gig?
Yeah. Man, I started with Jermaine in 2008.
Okay.
And then most of the band morphed into the Brothers Band when they started back at the end of December 2011.
Okay.
When they did their reunion show, basically.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't performed in 30 years. And then they did a show in Tokyo, the Tokyo Dome. And then from there, 2012, that's when the tour kicked off. And they've been out ever since 2012.
Oh, it's 20 years, man. 10 years. Sorry. I might
10 years. It's almost 10 years. We've been. But actually, I've been with Jermaine now. I've been playing with Jermaine for 11 years now.
Okay.
No, longer than that. 2008.
Okay.
18. Yeah, 11 years. 13 years. 13 years with Jermaine.
And you started doing Diddy about that time too, right?
I started doing Diddy in 07 thanks to Nissan Stewart. One of the other guys I owe him and this guy named Gerald Hatton. Those two guys, man, they set me up from the man. I can't thank them enough.
How did
for what
that
they
happen?
did for me and my career. Man, I was playing this church in LA called City Refuge, and where Gerald Hatton was the music director. And then all of a sudden, Nissan, he introduced me to Nissan. And Nissan called me. I was going to a rehearsal or coming from a session. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm driving through North Hollywood. How close are you to Hollywood right now?" I was like, "I'm about 10 minutes. Hey, I need you to go do this session for me real quick." I was like, "All right, cool." He sent me the address. So I get there. Ring the doorbell. So, I'm the drummer Nissan Stewart. He said, "Oh, yeah, cool." I walk in the studio. It's Diddy, T.I., Jack Black.
Oh,
freaking.
What?
I mean, it's like
what?
Everybody's sitting in the studio.
Oh my God!
And the was it Tiny and from Escape was T.I.'s wife.
Yeah.
All of them just Nicole Scherzinger was there, so they all just sitting in the studio booth. Wow. And I walk in like country boy deer in headlights, like and I'm like, he's like, "Yo, you Nissan's boy?" I'm like, Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh man, yeah, that's
I've been working with him ever since.
No kidding. Like, tell me that experience, right? So they walk in, yeah, I'm Nissan's boy. They say, all right, so here's some tracks. You throw on headphones and listen to the demos, or
what?
That's
like, Macy say, yo, you think you can handle this? And he started playing.
Okay, was there a reference track or anything like that, or do you just?
Yeah, it's a reference. Diddy uses a lot of samples, and he likes to recreate the samples. But all the samples he recreates them live.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I got you. Right. So I went in and put in the percussion parts.
Okay.
And then Mario Winans, who was supposed to play the drums, he was like, yo, you play drums too, right? I said, yeah. Yo, go test the drums for me. And so I tuned them, which I'm a big drum tuning head because of Dave Weckel's Back to the Basics video. And so I tell the drums to him. He's like, shucks. Now I started playing. He's like, yo.
Did he say shucks? Is that what you just said? Did you say shucks?
No.
Oh, I thought you said. I was like, you are redneck. Said, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I said shucks. I said, oh, shucks. He said, well, go ahead then. Go ahead. He said, well, you should go ahead and cut it. So then I went on ahead and started cutting. And then literally I've been working with Diddy ever since.
Unbelievable, man. Like, I mean, I'm a huge fan of everything the guy does in terms of, like, he's a brilliant business cat, right? I mean, just
businessman.
Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, not only is it talented,
I
know you got to jump.
I hate this. I do not want to go.
No, but you know what? This is fun. Well, this is just a perfect part one, because we're going to have to do this again.
Okay.
We got a lot of stuff to cover.
Yes.
But, so what's the next gig you got coming up?
Where am I this weekend? I'm in DC with Martin Kimmer, former lead singer of Color Me Bad.
Oh, nice.
He does this amazing Prince tribute show, that we do. So we're in DC this weekend, somewhere.
Dude, you remember last time you saw me, I had that Prince stuff on, man. I told you that was
you did. I know.
That was my bucket list, dude. I mean, he's like my favorite artist of all time, So if the guy,
of course, Michael would have been my number one if he'd been alive.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? Next time we'll have to get Batten on here, and we'll have to talk about Michael Jackson stories, right? We'll just get the entire Jackson. That'd be awesome. Well, listen, I know you got to go. Let's do this, man. Let's after you get back, and I'll be in Texas this weekend, Virginia next. So I'm in Virginia. We'll have to send your people out. Remember your daughter?
I'm gonna see you on Friday. The 27th.
Yeah. Richmond, are you gonna be there?
I'm coming.
Okay.
We talked about this.
Yeah, man. I know we did. Because you're seeing your daughter there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if you were going to send your daughter or if you're actually going to be there. So you are my guest, man. I can't wait to do this. Maybe we'll do part 2 in person. I'll just do it right there at the shop.
Okay.
The show. Awesome. So guys, then folks, it'll be the day after Thanksgiving on whatever that Friday is. So
the 28th, I think. 29th, something like that.
Yep. So be back here at All Access Live. If you have not yet done so, folks, please do this favor for me. Hit this link below. Go to youtube.com/All Access Live with Kevin Rankin. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell to be notified when I have my next guests. I've got a bunch of them. Steve Brown from Tesla. I've got Heather Thomas. I've got Vinny Appice coming back on. Woo. Lots of cats. But man, Stace, I really appreciate it, buddy. If folks want to know where this guy's playing, go to StaceySydnor.com, right? Is that the best way?
Yep.
All right.
Or LamontSydnor.net.
Okay.
Yeah, either those. All right.
You got personas all over the place. Have a beautiful evening, man. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And everybody that's been out there chatting, I appreciate you being here too. Thanks for welcoming me back. I just got a molar yank last night. I made it through, buddy. I had like half my puffy face and I still did it. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. You're the best, man. Travel safe. I'll see you in a week.
Bro.
I'll see you in a week and a half.
All right. You take care, bro. Thanks for having me.